So, hello everyone. I'm going to speak in Greek, but if you would like me to speak in English, I can answer the questions in English. It is with great pleasure that I find myself here in the Agribusiness Forum again. It's the second consecutive year to take part in this conference in my capacity as Deputy Minister of Rural Development and Food. Like I said, Mr. Papagiannides, I'm quite seasoned in the field of those programs and their implementation. I'm well aware of the agribusiness contribution. I'm well aware that it is widely acknowledged and accepted by leaders in this sector and by laymen participants in this process. You do realize that this issue brings forward other things that are timely, that constitute a major point of concern in terms of designing the future and seeing which are the next steps to be taken. Today we're here to address food security and sufficiency in times of uncertainty. This is one of the major topics of our times. Quite recently, 10 days ago, I attended the OECD Rural Farming Ministers meeting in Paris, and we discussed the topics of sustainability and resilience of our production systems. This is something that affects us all. It also affects ourselves, all the member states of the European Union, as well as the countries that are not members of the European Union. When it comes also to another meeting at Luxembourg, we also discussed the resilience of our production systems. And another topic of concern is, of course, the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, as well as the restructuring, or rather the readjustment and reprioritization of issues that are considered as a priority by ourselves. To make the long story short, the topic discussed here today is a topic that is in the limelight and has come in the limelight in a fierce way due to the war. All the countries need to review the sufficiency, self-sufficiency, and the unobstructed operation of the supply chain. And I would like to also elaborate on a few things. We, at the Ministry of Rural Development and Food, say that our country is independent food-wise in order to meet the dietary and food needs of our population. Like we say, our market operates at a good pace. Of course, there's no need here to bore you with a further elaborate analysis of how we did that and how I'm so confident about what I say. However, the topic discussed here today is a topic that will be a major point of concern in the upcoming years, for another additional reason. The food demands and needs all around the world are on the rise. So when the population will, all around the globe, will be more than 10 trillion, you do realize that the key question to be answered is whether we're able to meet their needs in terms of food. We want our population to feed and to thrive. Financing tools and instruments falls within the same category of discussion. We have focused on two different programs at the Ministry. The first is quite new, fresh out of the oven. It was late October that the financing agreement was signed between our Ministry and the Development Bank and the Ministry of Development. I'm talking about the Small Loans Fund, which is also known as the Microcredit Fund. It is a flexible liquidity tool that provides financing to producers, and they receive money sums from 3,000 up to 25,000 euro. Our ministry provides the guarantees for the disbursement of this loan. This means that farmers don't need to provide assets guarantee. You do realize that we have the Rural Development Plan, which is financed with 25 million euro, and we provide a grace period without any interest, and for the rest of the years of the loan we fund 50% of the interest rates. Again, I say that this is a tool mainly addressed or aimed at boosting liquidity of the producers. But of course, you do realize that this is not a consumption purpose loan. It is a production-oriented loan. And we expect them to provide the farmers with the right tools in order for them to move on to the next phase, to raise awareness among the broader public. That's what we do towards this direction. And it is on this occasion that I'm announcing that thing today. We want people to know where they can seek for support in order to meet their liquidity needs. We also have the Guarantee Fund. That's the second program which is ongoing. This is funded with 80 million euro, and we believe that through leveraging of the funds, we can provide loans that might be up to 400 to 450 million euro as a total. And when it comes to the Guarantees Fund, loans could start from 10,000 euro up to 3 million euro. Producers are split down in categories depending on their production capacity, their turnover, and of course their separate needs. This is a program that is underway since 2020. Until today, we have granted loans equaling 40 million euro. Maybe due to the pandemic, we didn't see a massive utilization of these tools on behalf of the farmers, but we hope that since we're on our way out of the crisis and through better awareness raising and promotion activities, farmers will opt for these financing solutions so that we can better achieve the goals set in the strategic planning. Well, my goal and our goal at the ministry has been to help our producers. We want them to overcome the weaknesses of the past. And talking about weaknesses in the agricultural sector, of course, I'm talking about red tape. With the broader red tape related issues that are inherent to the public sector. Ministry of Rural Development and Food is no exception in that. So since day one, we have been seeking to simplify those processes. Another example that is a living proof of that commitment of ours is the Young Farmers, Young Producers program. I'm going to elaborate on the digital interventions that are taken in the context of that. We have abolished the submission of physical hard copy dossier. All justifying documents and applications are collected at the vast majority, 9 out of 10, through the interoperability of the systems, meaning that investors, producers need to go just once at the office of the person who's responsible to complete the process on their behalf. Our goal has been for the producers to know when the tender will be announced and when the assessment will be completed. We tried to reduce the time interval by 50%, so over 6-7 months, we were able to enjoy the results and have the actual results of the program. Compared to the past, we know that we have managed to achieve this reduction. In the past, 10 up to 12 months would be required before we see the results of that. The evaluation was also carried out digitally, and now we have already announced all the programs and tenders run by our ministry, and all future tenders will follow the same process. Everything will happen online. We also corrected this 1 out of 10 justifying document that had to be submitted a hard copy, and recently the relevant announcement has been made in collaboration with the Ministry of Finances and the Independent Authority for State Income, so that now the applicants no longer need to go there in person to submit their dossier. They will be informed when the tender is announced and opens. They will know what the deadline will be. There will be consecutive cycles that are clearly determined from day one. They will be short. Each of them will be short. And in that way, we hope that we will enable producers to benefit from our programs. Next month, December, we will announce the Improvement or Reclamation Works project with a budget of 230 million euro. It is addressed to those who produce things. For example, if someone would like to buy livestock, capital, or if they want to improve their production, they're eligible for that program. The same applies to those who would like to upgrade their machinery, to buy new pieces of equipment, or other applications that provide flexibility to farmers. I'm talking about drones. Of course, the same applies to other useful applications. Let me now highlight 2 very useful applications recently at Thessaloniki in the context of the exhibition for Beyond Innovation. We had a researcher who presented a tool according to which the livestock breeder will be able to provide information about their production, the needs of the feed rations, and their financial results, and whether this needs to be improved. This is calculated by the application automatically, and where they need to focus on in order to improve the results. That's a major asset for our producers. For the time being, this has not been an option for them. So they had to do everything manually, to sum up things, deduct all the other expenses, etc., see what's the proportion of other indirect expenses that should be also considered and calculated in the price and the result. So now the result is better for the farmers. The same applies for themselves and their families. And another thing, an announcement made by our Prime Minister during the International Thessaloniki exhibition, in order to meet the needs of energy, there is also a possibility for 75,000 farmers, professional farmers, to receive licenses to connect to the DG-AGRI, and they can enjoy 10 kilowatt per license, and every producer can have 2 or 3 different licenses, meaning a sum of 20 to 30 kilowatts for their own purposes in order to be used on their own premises, and then the remainder of the power can be given to the DG-AGRI, so they will consume what they need and the remaining will be returned to the DG. And we came to realize that some grids were overloaded. Now, when it comes to the improvement works, we found 55% for the buyout of renewable energy sources and the installation of those systems. That's all I had to say. Thank you for your attention.